and welcome to a new video. And if you've not seen the channel before, well, welcome again to the channel. I hope you like it. I hope you stick with us and subscribe. Where am I today? Well, I'm down at Cheshire. I'm down in Cheshire. I'm at Leisure Sales. Leisure Sales has been around since the 70s. And I first started coming here probably around about 93. It was a different sort of thing in those days. All this wasn't here. It was a lot smaller building. Where the gravel and everything is now was grass, and to get to the vans you were like cronky old paving stones. You're a bit out in the sticks here at Berriton Green, and it's a nice area. You're not far from Jodrell Bank, actually, the big telescope. So there's plenty to see around here. Things like Alderley Edge isn't far away, things like that. And of course you've got Manchester and Knutsford and what have you. And of course Chester itself. But it's not off what I'd call on the main road for people to spot, really. But people still come here, still people find it, and they come. Now it's now owned by Brian Talbot. Brian Talbot, sorry, not Brian Talbot, Chris Talbot. Brian Talbot owned it. That was his dad, and that name, to anybody who knows anything, will know that was by one of the founders of Luna. And these people here were big Luna dealers, and were very sad the day they finished Luna. And I forget the time. It was a bit of a wall chart that they put up, a little time scale thing of when they started, and one or two pictures I've not seen before. And it's really quite interesting little wall chart. It's quite good. Anyway, back to this. I've come here today to do some used stuff for Practical Caravan, of course. The magazine that everybody should go out and get if you buy new or used and want to know where to go with your caravan. And plenty of tips in there. Now, giving that a plug, what we're looking at, I'm looking at what's going on in regarding pricing. And you know, I've just got some discoveries here at the moment. 2024 model. It's at 18,495. It was 20 grand. It's the little D2, it's little 2-berth, so dead little lightweight van. And then we've got the Discovery, another little D2 next to it. That's again a 2024 model. Again, 19,995. I don't know what the difference is between those. I wonder if one's just slightly right. What it'll be is possibly that they were both, because of course they don't change them very much, do they? And this was probably, could have been a late 23, 24 model, I don't know. But anyway, that's the price difference. There might be some extra fitted on there. The Discovery here, the D4. Now, out of all the Discoveries, I think the D4. Out of the Discoveries, I think the D4 is quite a good van, actually. I like the layout, and it's a shame that Swift don't do that in the Alpine, actually, that layout, but in the Alpine 4. This massive big drawbar on the front, and that idea was tried out in the 70s, and it was to aid stability towing. That was the idea. But this is to put things like you can put like a big storage box on there, or you could, and that's still available. But that's going out at what, 19,995. So you're saving over 2k on that. And we've got the Phoenix, the Phoenix GT75. We're knocking off 1,600 quid off this. This is a 2024 model. Again, what is it? It is the 440, so it's a side fixed bed. Nice little van, nice lightweight van, and at 23.5k, it really makes it quite a decent buy. Some more Phoenixes here, again 2.5k off. 2649 taken off, 22,995 for 2024 model. That's the twin Sindles and then washroom 4-berth. Doing some quite good deals here, and I'm sure that if you were really in the market, you could probably get a bit more squeezed off that, or something else thrown in on it maybe, if you ask them nicely. Now here we have the GT75, the 6-berth I looked at Campbell's, which is a 2024 model, 762. Now here they've now got it up at 22,995. That's saving over £5,000, and it's no different from the 2025 model. I think this represents really a decent value for money, especially at this price. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Right, what else have we got around here? With the Phoenix GT75. Again, some good discounting going on, there's no doubt about it. So we've got the transverse double bed with end washroom. We've got the price up here at 22,995. It's a 644. This is a lot of van for the money, I think. Now, you know, I don't listen to just like the Phoenix, to be quite honest with you. I don't think it's a bad van. I can't say I've seen many of them around on the road at all. It seems a bit of a shame because they're not bad at all. They do represent pretty good value for money. But anyway, onwards and upwards. Got some Alicanters here, Pegasus, sorry. £4,000 saving on that in the 2024 model. Island bed at the back there. Canto Grande 2024 model, £4,500 saving on that. Again, island bed at the back. We've got some really good price savings. 37,995 instead of 41,144. That's a 2025. That's a 2025 Alicanto, the latest one, and that is the Grande Deluxe Alvor. Again, quite a lot of Tourer for the cash there. That's a 2025 model. What's going on? Well, let's face it, we've got to admit that sales haven't been going as well as they should be doing. As lots of things have done that. The January weather hasn't been the best. Plus as well, with all the things that have been going on in the world, it just affects everything. It's just dire, isn't it, when you think about it. Porto there. Another one's at 2025. Yep. 37,995 from 41. Quite a few good price reductions here on Bailey's. Unicorn Deluxes 2025 model. Again, a couple of grand off that. Event only price. It did have a bit of an event on here, but I reckon that price would stick. £3,000 saving there. Now, if you're in the market for a new Bailey, if that's what you want, then you're going to pick one up at a pretty decent price. And that's the Madrid. I always quite like the Madrid, actually. I quite like that layout. Again, all these vans are locked up, so I can't do anything about that. Again, 2025 model, 29,995. Phoenix 2025 again, 24,994. So if you're a buyer, you're really in. You've got a real good amount of choice, and the amount of money you're going to get knocked off. Now we've got a little Phoenix 420 There's no price on that. Again, not a bad little van, I must admit. I quite like it. Still miss my front locker. I still think the Alpine 2 is definitely the better of the van, especially in its exclusive package. But that Phoenix 420 isn't a bad van at all, especially with some cash knocked off it. Nice and light. Now some second-hand stock along here. Even the second-hand stock is getting some money knocked off, and the reason is because generally caravan sales are at the moment slow. So you get 1,500 quid off this nice Swift here, 2022 model. Pressbury, it's a dealer special for leisure sales. Family van, twin fixed bunks at the back. Swift Conqueror, picked that up for 19,249. Everything you want. Again, another special. I think it's the Alpine 4, is it? The equivalent of. It's got all the bits and pieces on it. 18,995. Yeah. So Alpine 4. Now there's a couple of elegances down. Let's see if there's any money being knocked off these. Quite a lot of stock in, you can see. Challenger Grande. Any money off this? It's a due 2025 model. They're knocking about £1,000 off that. Just under, yeah, it's over £1,000. 35. Sorry, hang on. How much of it? 33,595, and it's 36,145. So really smashing some of the prices. That's a lot of van. Decent spec for the money as well. Bit of wind noise there creeping, a bit of a breeze getting up. Again, £4,000 saving near enough on this. 2025 Elegance. Now I really do like the Elegance. I think they do look a very smart van, and with the extra bit of cash taken off them, well, that makes it even better, I think. What's I to say about the wind noise? I'm just using the camera's microphones today. Again, £3,000 off that. Challenger 480. Again, over £2,500 off that. I do think the Swifts do look smart, there's no doubt about it. Challenger Grande. Again, some good prices off. 3 crates. Again, good 2.5k off. Transverse bed. Now is the time to buy. Now people are going to be going to the NEC, no doubt, and think they're going to get even more money scraped off. I doubt it, personally. You might do if you're lucky, but I think the dealers are doing quite well at home on their forecourts without going to the NEC and doing discounting anymore. So I don't think you're going to see much more coming off these. The Challenger Grande, fixed bunks at the back, 35,995. Again, nearly 3k saved on that. Nice little van for somebody. Well, not so little, is it? All the spec that you need. Smart alloys. 670. Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? How the prices are being cut to stimulate some sales. £3,000 on this 2024. Challenger SE 580. Yeah. Now I found a Phoenix over here, the little 420. How much did they look at? And it's been sold. And this is a 2024 model, and that went for 21,995. And again, a lot of van there really for the money, to be quite honest. We can't knock it at all. It's just a 2024 model. It's brand new. No change from 2025 apart from model year. And to be quite honest, that really wouldn't bother me too much. So I reckon you should get down to your dealers this next few days and have a look, and if you're near Leisure Sales at all, come and have a chat with the team here. Always willing to do a deal. Got quite a bit of decent new stock in. Again, some good price cutting on those. Got some up here with the awnings up. But you can see, with all this sort of cost cutting going on, this price slashing, how some dealers haven't been able to hold on, and that's a shame. Cochrane Vogue Spinny Dealer Special 520 in washroom, but that's not even open. Oh, this one is open. They usually all lock these. Do like the 520, of course. VIP, basically with loads of bits and pieces chucked in, and great and washrooms on these. Now I was talking to one of, I think as a subscriber, he recognised me straight away as a gaming, and he was looking at a Sprite, I think it was a Quattro MB, I think, or something, I can't remember now. I've done a review on, look at the washroom on that. It's a brilliant washroom. Lou used to do a cracking washroom as well, like this. And Bailey still do decent washroom, in all fairness. But I think Cochrane are the best. And they were looking at 520 VIP. And they've now gone looking at, but they're still here. They were looking at new vans, looking at Bailey. They've been looking at the Sprite. They weren't over keen on the one I'd said about. So, but it's also, of course, like I've said to you, just because I like it doesn't say you're going to like it. But it's in nice, reasonable condition as well. I'm glad this one was open. It's been looked after. Yeah. Decent Spectora. And what's it up at? I think this is up at 17,995. Not bad. And it's what year is it? It's a 2018. But it's a really nice looking van. Really nice condition. Say it's a shame not all open. But they never have been here. They've always had to go and get the keys. I saw Swift Conqueror down there. We're going to have a look at that. I think I'll cover that for Practical Caravan actually. Because it looks a good reasonable van for the money. Again, some money knocked off. £4.5 grand.
Challenger 480
Oh,
when you were in last
did we look at Challenger 480? No idea.
Because it came in last week. And I can't remember if it was in with you. I'm going to go over there now anyway if you want to have a quick look at it. Yeah.
Salesman there, doing his job. Well done. Yeah, this is the last of the pre-exclusive sprites. It's an Alpine 2. One of my favourites. That's coming out at $29.95. It's a brand new 2024 model. To me, that is really excellent value for money. That really should get snapped up. So quite a bit of stock here. Quite a bit of used stock. Discovery D2 over there. A used one. So, okay. So what do you think? The market at the moment is definitely quite slow. And that's on new as well as used. Generally everything is slow. As I say, lots of reasons why. Lots of things going on in the world. And I just think basically the winter, January has been a cold month. I know it normally is, but it feels like the old January used to be. Even at home it's felt cold. And normally we have a few days of cold weather and it's fairly mild. So I think that's put people off from coming down on the forecourts. Plus as well, this is only just a week or two, this video before the NEC. So there'll be people who go, oh, you know what, well hang on, I'll go to the NEC. Yeah, I was talking to somebody else and they said that it was just too much mind-boggling at the NEC. Too many models to look at. And I think the problem is these days, it's not so much that. I think it's because they're all made by the same manufacturers. So all the ranges literally run into each other. They're just different in spec a lot of the time. The individual manufacturers where you could tell what was what are now gone, of course. And that's a big shame. But as I say, they've got some really good prices here, and if I was in the market for a Tourer, there'd be something here for me for my budget if I had that budget. Like that Alpine 2 at 20 grand, just over. I just had to be very sorely tempted at that. There's lots of temptations, really. So as I say, if you're in the market for a new Tourer or a nice used Tourer, then now is the time to start getting out on these forecourts, because I think you're going to pick yourself up some bargains. Now, we don't know what's going to happen. Easter's late this year as well, which means better weather usually, and generally that might kick up sales a bit, which prices might not be as, can we say, consumer friendly. But we don't know. The thing is, things aren't going to go down, are they? Everything's going up. The car market's seen in a depressed state, as I said before, so generally we're just waiting for that upturn again. We're waiting for this big economic upturn, aren't we, that Rachel Reeves has promised us, and all this sort of thing. All these promises we were given don't seem to be materialising just yet, although we know it takes longer than a few weeks. Right, well, I'm going to call the end of this video. I hope you like this video. I've not been able to look in the vans, unfortunately, but anyway, just good to go and have a good moves around and see what's what. So as I say, if you're in this area, I'm not on commission, but I'd come down. It's a nice, decent, quiet dealership. There's no pushy salespeople here, and I've been coming here for years, and nobody goes pushing anybody. Nobody comes away from here and sponsors say, oh, they were dead pushy. They haven't. It is a nice sort of steady away dealership, really, and the vans are well presented. They're all easy to get to. There's nothing squashed up like you find in some dealerships, and they've got a fantastic accessory shop and an indoor showroom, which is nicely heated, and there's music playing in there, and it's really good. So I'm going to call it a day on this video, and I'll see you on the next one, and thank you again for watching. In the meantime, I'm just going to sink myself off and look at some of these nice new caravans at mouth-watering prices that a pensioner can't afford. I can dream.